Councillor Perks to speak.
Thank you, Speaker. Councillors, the report you have in front of you makes a couple of assertions. It asserts that the public sector financing, which we have traditionally done, creates a certain amount of risk, and it attaches a number to that risk, okay? It says that if the public sector financing, typical contracting, were to be done here, there is a $946 million risk that we would be carrying. It further asserts that if you have an alternate financing and procurement strategy, that the risk is therefore, it will suddenly be reduced to $164 million. These are not actual costs. These are assessments of risk. Now, it is important for you to know that you are not allowed to show your constituents how those numbers were arrived at. You heard in answer to questions from the city chief financial officer that he could show me these, how they were arrived at, but only if in confidence. In other words, I cannot show my constituents how it is that this assessment of risk was arrived at. The next thing worth remembering is that the City of Toronto could buy the technology to do the prefabrication, have the work done, pay the contractor, all of those things, but even bundle together all the different pieces without doing alternate financing and procurement. In fact, we never build these things ourselves. There's no public versus private construction being considered here. All that is being considered is whether we bundle the financing and the long-term operation and maintenance together with the construction. Now, the next piece to be aware of is that when you do that, you pay more money. The additional costs here, as the city manager or the chief financial officer said, will run into the hundreds of millions of dollars. The early estimate we have here is over $250 million. So the way to understand this is we are paying $250 million in an insurance premium to reduce a risk, the calculation of which you cannot show to your constituents. You are telling them we will spend at least $250 million extra of public funds, and you can't show them why. You can only tell them that there was a meeting that Cllr Canada, Infrastructure Ontario, city staff, and consultants who get paid to work on Cllr's attended, where they reviewed that model. That's the assurance that you can give your constituents. In other words, people who work for a federal agency whose only job it is to make Cllr's happen, together with people from a provincial agency whose only job it is to make Cllr's happen, together with some people from the consulting industry who make their living off Cllr's, met with our staff and persuaded them that the model they used to calculate how much insurance we should buy, but you can't show those numbers to the people who are paying the bill. Councillor Carroll has a motion that at least gets us someone who is not inside the Cllr world, some academics or somebody like that, to take a look so that we can know that some outside third party looked at this and has assured us that the model might, is reasonable. I want to draw your attention in closing to the recent report of the Auditor General of the Province of Ontario. Some things that report got right, some things it did not. One thing it got right is it said the problem with the way these are done is that the decision maker, the government, has to just take someone's word on whether or not it's worth doing. That's a fundamental problem with transparency and good governance. Let's at least, without slowing down the project, without putting any more risk about whether or not the construction happens on time, let's at least get an independent set of eyes to look at whether or not this insurance will be worth buying.
Thank you.